Hello everybody, welcome to another Book to Cook. We're doing another recipes from the world of Tolkien. Today we're doing apple, ale and mustard chutney. Here we go, page 65. Ooh, and look at that. What we're going to need, 1 kilogram of cooking apples, quarters, everything is diced up pretty much. 500 grams of onions, 250 grams of celery, 250 grams of dates, 550 mils of ale, 150 mils of malt vinegar, 300 grams of demerara sugar, 2 tablespoons of white mustard seeds. I actually haven't got any mustard seeds, so I'm just using mustard powder. A teaspoon of turmeric, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of peppercorns, lightly crushed. I haven't, I know you saw some allspice on there, but that was put it on there by mistake. So everything is diced up, ready to be just chucked into a big pot. I've got my stock pot here I bought from the local girl at the market. Everything goes in, roughly chopped. You can be pretty rough with the salt, I always am. It says just a teaspoon instead of a tablespoon there. I don't drink, so I don't know if this is a good ale. Tell me if it is or not. Glug, glug, glug. In goes the sugar. The thing I love about this sort of recipe is you just chuck it all in. I didn't quite have 2 teaspoons in there, so I just emptied the pot. There you go, and the turmeric. Just being really rough with it, doesn't matter at all. And a nice crack in of some black pepper. It does say 1 teaspoon. I actually stood here for 3 or 4 minutes just cracking that in there. Cool. I'm going to bring it to, I've got it on a medium heat here. Just going to stir it all up. And basically the next 4 or 5 minutes of this video are just shots of me stirring it every couple of minutes. So giving it a rough stir here just to make sure everything's incorporated. I'll tell you what, it smelled delicious. There you go, just keep it on the heat. And then this is sort of 10 minutes down the line, not even that, this is probably like 40 minutes down the line. It starts getting a bit juicy, so all the sort of hardness of all the fruits in there just melted right down into this sauce. And then you want to sort of stir it every 10 minutes just to make sure it's not sticking to the bottom and things like that. The more you go along with the recipe, you want to keep stirring it more and more. So look, it's really getting a bit thick and caramel, so all that sugar and the sugar from the apples and the onions really combining here. So again, it's just more stirring and stirring. This is probably about an hour and 20 into it now. I don't know if it's just start sizzling and I stir it. That means just the moisture's not quite getting to the bottom, and that's why you want to stir it more often when it gets, the thicker it gets, because you really don't want it to burn and sort of caramelise on the bottom. So just keep stirring and stirring. Looking good. And then when you're sort of 20 minutes towards the end maybe, you want to bring another pot to boil, and this is to sanitize the jars that you're going to put everything in. So I've got a big jar here. It says this recipe fills 4 jars, so I have got 4 jars. One of them is this big Branston pickle. And you just want to bring it to the boil with a lid in there, stir it up, and make sure everything is poked out. See here now, there's not enough water floating on the top. There's juice floating on the top of the chutney here. That's how you know it's sort of coming to an end. There's no, when you leave it to rest until, I've lowered the heat a little bit here now as well. There's not a lot of bubbling going on the top. That means there's not a lot of water left in there, so it's just the sugar from the chutney. So, can you hear it sizzle slightly when I stir it? There we go. So you really want to keep stirring it at this point. Just making sure it's not. Oh, look at that. Cool. Let's make a mess, shall we? So I've got my jar, I've got a ladle here. The ladle is twice the size of the jar lid, so I really am going to make a mess here. But if you make a mess, guys, it's for you to clean it up. I had to clean this up. Tell you what, I licked the spoons clean after I was done. So we've got 2 jars on the tea towel ready to go, one being filled up here. I'm doing less on the ladle now to try and get more in the jar. God, I'm really making a mess there. Oh, but it smells so good. And you just want to grab a tea towel or something, not a tea towel, a teaspoon, tablespoon, and just poke everything in there. So you really don't want any air bubbles getting in there. So just pat it all down, get all those air bubbles out, and you'll make a little bit of room for yourself to get a little bit more chutney in there. And then keep filling it. There you go. Pat it down again, get the rest of those air bubbles out near the top. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. And get your lid on. Wash. Make sure it's screwed on really tight. And you can see the little, you know, the little clicky bits on the top of the jar. Well, when they've cooled down, you'll be able to click that in and it won't rise back up. That's how you know it's sort of sealed. Get my second jar here. Fill it up to the top. Poke it in with a spoon. Oh, I really am making a mess. And then I do this 2 more times. I found some more jars. Make sure to boil them and sanitize them. You don't want any bacteria or germs getting in there, because once you've got all your jars, it's a little bit annoying, but you have to. The recipe says to wait 3 weeks for this to mature. So you want to put it in a cool, dark place at least 3 weeks before you try it. But you will struggle not to lick the spoon because it is delicious. Enjoy, everybody. Come back for next time. Like and subscribe.